What does one say to an ancient Nephilim ghost?
I suppose you start with
another glorious day in the Corps.
Hello, my friend. Stay a while and listen.
What's going on YouTube? It's Filthy and we're back with another Diablo 3 Season 34 video. This is probably the fastest build in Season 34. Crusader I think would give it a run for its money. Wave of Light would give it a run for its money. But the GR90 in the background with about 800 Paragon, no augments, not optimized gear, will probably be finished by the time we're done with this introduction. It is absolutely amazing for farming Greater Rift keys. It will crush Echoing Nightmares, get all your augments for other builds, and it is fantastic for doing visions. The only thing I would say it's not amazing at is Paragon farming. We're going to use Shadow Impale on the Demon Hunter for that, or Fist of Heaven's Crusader, probably to grind out our Paragons. But for powering up a character and getting as many blood shards as possible as quickly as we can, as many Echoing Nightmare keys as quickly as we can, getting the primals and unlocking the altar to its maximum potential, this, I think, is going to be one of the best builds in the entire game for it. We found a primal whilst we were doing the key farming. Pause the video, guys. Let me know this lovely looking Impale Quiver, Holy Point shot. Did Filthy get lucky and get God tier rolls? Or did we get trash? I'll show you at the end of the video. As always, guys, a thumbs up brightens my day. Right, now, so this is a guide on UE. Unhallowed Essence Multi-Shot Demon Hunter. This build, I think, was dubbed the Goblin Blaster 9000 by Rax back in Season 27. Importantly, we've had a couple of changes since then. So the major one is that the UE set, I think at the time, did like 350% extra damage for every point of discipline you have. And now it does 1700, so that's like over 4 times better. We've also got the Altar of Rights, which just makes general utility and playing builds much better. And it also gives probably about 2 or 3 tiers. So this build was brilliant in Season 27. It is now absolutely godly. So the whole way that UE works, the only thing we really need to worry about is basically equipping multi-shot items. And as per the 6-piece, we need our discipline to be high for damage. That is the discipline in the orb, not the max discipline, but how much that we have. Of course, crucial to how this build works is getting a sanctified item with the power that reads, Strafe now casts the last non-channeled hatred spending ability. So all we have to do is press multi-shot once at the start of the rift, and then after that, Strafe will automatically fire it out. And I should say, we're looking at the key farming version at the moment, and I'll show you the swaps for the Echoing Nightmare and the Greater Rift version. Only other modifier that we need for multi-shot is a Dead Man's Legacy. Hits enemies below 60% health twice and has its damage increased up to 200%. The modifier on here you definitely want up at past 185 if you can, because max discipline equals more damage. That is probably quite an important role in the secondary. Mine's crap because I've only got 9 instead of 12. I've got crit chance, I've not got any multi-shot damage, I've not got any area damage, but yeah, it is what it is. Now, that's it for the damage. We are taking a squirt, so when we have a shield up, we get double damage. The Altar of Rights provides a shield whenever we pick up a health orb, and that will give us enough shield to keep this up and keep it worthwhile. We've got a Mantle of Channeling for extra damage whilst we are spinning and winning, which is great. And then aside from that, we've got legendary gems, Taeguk, which is just more damage. And I've gone for Zeiss because the theory is that we're going to be one-shotting everything before we get there. So this Zeiss is obviously only rank 36, that's pretty low. My Taeguk is 110, which is obviously higher, but those two things would balance out. They're both 70. This would be, of course, working exactly the same. Now, the rest of the stuff is basically about how do we get around the map as quickly as humanly possible. And how do we not run out of resource? Because I hate playing builds that run out of resource. So if you're doing the Shadow Impale and you're killing stuff too quickly, you're going to run out of resource. Sometimes Gears of Dreadlands, if you run out of enemies to hit, you can run out of resource. The way we've got this build set up is that we can go long stretches without seeing anything and our resources won't move. This is particularly impressive because we're taking the Echoing Fury in the cube. Normally you take the Dawn for the Vengeance cooldown reduction, but for the Torment 16 key farming build, the Echoing Fury, as we kill stuff, we get up to 75% attack speed, which is brilliant, so we fire out multi-shots super fast, and we also get 25% move speed. We're getting move speed off our Boon of the Hoarder, which is also doubling through as our toughness, because the Goldrack Belt will allow us to get infinite toughness. We just need Abrus Band on the follower. The arm guards are going to allow us a move speed boost whenever we wreck something. And then we've also got the Larceny Ring. Chance on fear to hit, you want this to be as high as possible. We hit a lot, so it does proc quite a lot. And again, mine's rubbish because not only are the main stats on this terrible, the secondary legendary power of move speed increased 48%. I would much rather that was 60. So I'm on the lookout for a better one of these. But the idea is we hit, we fear, we move faster, we destroy items, we hit them, we move faster. We've got loads of speed from the Boon of the Hoarder. Now, in terms of the skills, again, we're buffing. Hang on, let's finish the gear first, sorry. We've always got the Rogue to make up the bonus because we've got the Mantle of Channeling. Not necessary. You can easily do UE shoulders here, no Rogue. So if you're just setting this up and you haven't done your bounties yet, no problem. Pride's Fall is really useful because we get this like 30% damage reduction whilst we have not taken damage. Because of the shield, this will be up pretty much all the time. 30% damage reduction. When we put that on top of the natural resource cost reduction roll on the Yangs of 45%, I've rolled mine up to 55. We've just got tons of resource and it is absolutely fantastic. I've got some resource cost reduction on my Zodiac. I've got some on my Quiver. I think they're the only places that I've got it. I'm probably overkilling the resource, but I just really don't like running out. So that's kind of the way it is. Now, also helping us move faster is Shadow Power, Shadow Glide, 30% move speed when it's active. Smokescreen displacement is brilliant, 100% move speed. It only lasts a second, which is a slight problem, but because we've got the Zodiac Ring, whenever we hit, we take a second off a skill cooldown. This pretty much means we've got infinite smokescreen. So 100% move speed, pop it, pop it, pop it. All I'm doing through the rift is holding down strafe, and I've got smokescreen on my other mouse button, and I just pop that. That's it. We of course have got the fire rune on multi-shot. Arsenal seems to be the one that does the most damage. Ballistic's passive fires out the rockets for us, which is nice. Strafe, Drifting Shadow, 100% move speed because we don't like slowing down. Prep, Focus Mind just means that I've constantly got this source of discipline. 45 over 15 seconds. Again, long cooldown here, but the Zodiac will help us with this. Vengeance does nothing for us really. It's got Seethe, but we don't really need the Seethe rune. We're immortal, so there's no point picking Dark Heart. But it's 40% extra damage. Now, of course, because we've dumped the Dawn, we've got limited uptime on this. I think we could probably swap this out for Companion, and it probably wouldn't hurt the build particularly much. So we could do something like Bat Companion, and then Hatred would be even more through the roof, or we could do Wolf Companion for a bit more damage if we wanted to press the button. But ultimately, I've got it on Vengeance. I think it's fine. Attack Advantage gives us another 60% move speed. So when we pop Smokescreen, we're just getting total amazing move speed of 160. That's why Zodiac is so nice, because we just go super fast every time we push this. Ambush, 40% damage to enemies above 75% health. This, with the Zais, helps us flatten stuff one-shot. If we don't one-shot it, as long as we've taken 40% of its health away, Dead Man's Legacy kicks in, and it is even more damage. I've got awareness on Cheat Death, just because I don't like dying in Torment 16, but by all means you could swap it out. Again, you could do even more Hatred for Blood Vengeance. Perfectionist would knock 10% off your discipline, so that'd be good. That would allow you to almost never ever run out of discipline for the Smokescreen. So that could be good. So that is the key build. Importantly for keys, you need a Canes on the follower. You need a Rogue because you want to get a Gloves of Worship in the build as well for the follower. You want to do a Flavour of Time. You want to do Nemesis Braces, Broken Crown to collect your gems. If you're not that bothered about the Gloves of Worship because they are a little bit of a luxury, just pop your Oculus on, pop your Canes gloves on, and that's fine. Homing pads also mean you can teleport back to town uninterrupted, which is very nice. In terms of follower skills, Cheat Death, I've gone for the damage reduction, and then we've got the static element increase of 8%. I still haven't finished her off for 25k main stats, so a little bit more juice out of that. In terms of stats, we can get multi-shot damage on boots, we can get multi-shot damage on the helmet, and the crit chance is really nice. Multi-shots can go on the Deadmans. Area damage is okay. Cooldown wise, obviously more is better. but you don't need to stress it. We've got it obviously natively on the Zodiac. I've got it on the gloves, got it on the shoulders. I haven't rolled up these items properly yet either. Cooldown gem in the helm. For T16, we probably want the Dex gems, but I just haven't bothered converting those up for that. So that is Torment 16. Now, the build is amazing for these super fast GRs, and I think once you get this juiced up with maybe some augments, maybe your Paragon a little bit higher, that 90 that we showed at the start that we crushed in 49 seconds, you'll be crushing 100, 105 once you get this fully decked out. So this is the build that I use for Echoing Nightmares. It's the build I use for the Greater Rifts, and we're just going to swap out a couple of things just to make it a little bit tankier and a little bit tougher. So we've put Dawn in because we're going to swap onto Dark Heart for 50% damage reduction. In those Echoing Nightmares and also in the Visions of Enmity, you will be taking quite a bit of damage, so it is better to have the Dark Heart 50% damage reduction. Again, you need to make sure your cooldown is about 37, 38%, so I'm missing a little bit. So again, rolling up my gloves, my shoulders would get me there. We're going to plop on the Guardian set because this will give us like almost like a double damage boost because it doubles our main stat. We get a lot of toughness with damage reduction in this as well. So that's a swap. Because we're not that bothered about the cooldown moving quite so fast as in a Torment 16, I've gone for Stone of Jordan because it buffs up the elemental damage, buffs up the elite damage. Again, Echoing Nightmares, Visions, lots of elites, nice to put them down very, very fast. And it also has got this max discipline roll on the secondary, which again, of course, just leads us into more damage. I've still left on the Larceny ring so I can get about the map quite quickly in terms of looking for the visions to spawn. But again, conventional elements could be absolutely fine here. Now, in terms of focus and restraint, I just don't bother because I'm looking to do these 90s or 100s without worrying about activating skills. So again, it's very, very brainless. We're going in, we're hitting multi-shot, and we're just holding buttons down, and that's it. So don't get me wrong, this is not the strongest way to play UE. You would want to get focus and restraint in rather than these two rings. I appreciate it's a lot more damage. I've just designed this to be basically very easy to play, completely switch your brain off. Now, we've popped in the Bane of the Powerful and the Bane of the Trapped. For Echoing Nightmares, you still definitely want to do the Zais, I think, because I can't remember if you can't. I think you can slow in Echoing Nightmares, but you can't hard crowd control in it. But choice of legendary gems doesn't matter. Powerful Zais. I like the Powerful for the Visions because you sometimes just jump in and you've automatically got elites, so you can get this activated pretty quick. And the extra elite damage I think is kind of useful, but it doesn't matter as long as you got Taeguk and then you pick either one of the other two gems. You can still leave Boon of the Horde in, guys, if you really want the gold. But again, for Visions, for GRs obviously not, but for Visions you absolutely can do. Now, at some point, the 100s might get so easy that again we can put the Zodiac back in the Greater Rift build. There is also the opportunity to take Hexing Pants and Mystic Yan, which I have been toying about with as well because they give extra damage and extra resource, so that's kind of nice. You can try Ace and Archer's Gauge to get a shield, which just means that you've always kind of got your squirts up because you kill an elite super fast. 10-second shield, find the next elite, crush it, rinse, repeat like that. Ultimately, guys, for 900 Paragon, for no augments, for this being, not finished gear, I think that's pretty good, and I'm quite happy with it. I'm going to build out the Impaled Demon Hunter, try and get that north of 120 for solo speeds, which I think should be possible. Then I'm going to move on to Crusader. But this is a lot of fun. It's just really, really nice to see the map wipe, which is really good. And I did promise we would look at the Holy Point shot. Guys, unfortunately, it was a big rip. So we got the wrong element. I wanted cold, not lightning. Lightning's not the end of the world. You can use the Ricochet rune, so that is okay. Dex and attack speed we're stuck with, but then the other two rolls are not good because life regen and hatred regeneration are not useful. So I would have preferred crit chance, impale damage, something like that, area damage maybe. But yeah, I'm probably going to feed this to the altar because even though it's got the perfect roll on the bottom, I just think there's too much to be changed for this. But hey ho, it is what it is. We can't win all the time. I hope you get better luck than I do. Right, that's been the build guide. Goblin Blaster 9000 UE multi-shot completely crushes stuff. You will be able to set up all your other characters with this build, and it is very, very fun to play. I've been Filthy Casual. Take it easy, guys. Peace.